Hey folks, Kelly Indy Smith here. Welcome to my video. Today I'd like to talk about and reason a bit on this topic called shortchanging ourselves. Now, this came to my mind like a hint of this video, a hint of this reasoning, and a hint of this truth. It came to my mind a few days ago. I believe it was actually last week while I was at the gym. And so, it's so easy at times to just go to the gym in a rotation or to like go about your life in a rotation and do what's expected. And even in that thing of going above and beyond of what's expected, a lot of times I feel, and I've seen it with myself, that we tend to still stay in a space of comfort. We stay in a space where we're not really making ourselves uncomfortable. We're not really pushing ourselves, but we push ourselves above the norm. So it's like compared to our peers, we're definitely ahead of the curve. We're definitely like doing more, but compared to ourselves, we're not doing as much as we can do or as much as we should do if we want to see real progress. And so I was at the gym and I think I was competing with the clock to get a certain amount of miles in, or I don't know if it was reps or whatever it was, but I heard my inner voice and my inner dialogue began saying, don't shortchange me. Don't shortchange yourself. And it's something that it really spoke to me. It actually gave me that extra boost at the gym to like, no, like I'm gonna keep going until I feel like I can't go anymore. I'm not gonna keep going thinking that, oh, well, at least for my age group and for women, I'm doing good. No, I wanna do good in comparison to myself, right? So that was the first time I saw a hint of that. But a few days ago, I actually got the hint of that with a social interaction I had with some people. And a little backstory, for the first time since forever, I've been in a position where I literally don't have much going on for me right now. With COVID and everything else, I'm at home. I'm not doing a regular 9 to 5, not even part-time or anything of that sense. And I'm thankful for it in the sense that I realized that I had a lot of healing I had to do. I have a lot of stuff that, I realized I took for granted and thought, okay, I'm healed, but it's really subconsciously still influencing a lot of my thought patterns, a lot of my self-image, a lot of the way I respond to like people around me. And I just realized that there's a lot of stuff under there, so a lot of baggage that needs to be handled, right? And so for the first time, as much as everyone, is devastated by the pandemic, I'm actually thankful for that. And I recognize that this pandemic putting me out of work, putting me out of, an opportunity to get gigs and to get money the way that I traditionally did, it's given me a moment to actually stop and handle my stuff because I don't have anything else to do. I'm at home and I am doing stuff at home, but there's still enough time. There is still that elephant in the room that is right there with me, and I have no other choice but to deal with it. And so obviously I could say this through a video, I could say this through my reasoning, but when you get placed in a social interaction, especially in America, that's not cool. You're gonna be looked at like, what? Or not even, before we even get how you're gonna be looked at, your inner dialogue, your self-image, to get to that point of realizing this is where you're at, it's such a battle, right? Because one, there's this thing of rushing into a new normal, which a new normal, according to people, is working from home and, living your best life in that sense. And then there's this other thing where, you feel like a failure. You feel like everyone is already progressing and you're still at this space and whatnot. So it gets to that point where with your social interactions, when you're interacting with people, and this is what an interaction I had where I'm in a situation where people are basically saying what they're doing, and it's a bit of like catching up, like what have you been up to and whatnot. And everyone is, I'm working from home and I changed careers and all that stuff. And when I was asked what am I up to, I sat there, and then I just said, I'm healing. And for real, I'm not doing anything. I'm not really traditionally working the way that I used to. I don't have a stable job, and I'm really just healing. And that was such a vulnerable space to be. But, I developed on that. I basically gave my spiel. I gave my story of where I'm at right now. I didn't go in depth, obviously, but I was able to share my reality. I was able to share my story without feeling that, okay, my story is not even boring, but my story is not relevant. My story is not socially acceptable because everyone else is talking about how they've been able to maneuver and how they've been able to thrive even in this pandemic, while I'm over here saying, you know, I'm healing and I'm dealing with a broken heart. I'm dealing with past hurts. I'm dealing with um, cancellations. I'm bouncing back from 2 years back. I'm coming out of a depression. I'm coming out of toxic cycle. Like, saying that is not something that we're trained to say, or even that we are taught to embrace about ourselves. But what I realized about that is that it opened up the door for a conversation that I think never would have even happened or evolved if I hadn't just been real with myself and not shortchange my story and just try to make up some kind of fallacy to show that, yeah, there's problems in this pandemic, but I'm still doing it. Like, it would have been so pretentious of me to do that, which I could have put emphasis on the fact that, oh yeah, I'm really focusing on my songwriter journey, my singer music journey. But the truth is, no, my main focus right now is healing. For real, for real. And what that did, the few other persons that were there, they started adding, like, yeah, like, I could definitely resonate with that because this is what happened to me at the beginning of the pandemic, and even right now this is what I'm working through, in addition to still again getting into this new normal, thriving. And everyone kind of had this piece to add about how there's a lot of work that needs to be done within themselves. And to me, that just showed me, why shortchange your story? Why try to create some kind of an image that you're at some place? And most of the time, I don't think we do this consciously. I think we subconsciously always want to give someone something to say, hey, this is me. Whether it's I work from home, I'm a freelancer, I'm this, I'm in finance, I'm in real estate, I'm a teacher. Whatever it is, we want to give people something, whether it's something to remember us by, whatever it is. But I think realizing that giving the truth about yourself, giving the truth about the space you're in, is the best thing you could ever give anyone. And like I said, it really encouraged me, the way that just being able to be raw, being unfiltered, being vulnerable, and say, yeah, like, I'm just figuring this out. I have no kind of fancy intro speech about who I am. This is just what it is. What you see right now is what it is. And it completely just evolved into something else. And I also realized that sometimes when we shortchange our story, or when we try to create this version of ourselves in front of people, what we do is that we prevent other people from growing. We prevent other people from getting their revelations, because most times persons need that kind of escape from having it all together. So when they see someone who is bold in not having it all together, and even to a certain extent, I would say thriving in the unknown, that encourages persons. That allows them to actually really connect with you, because now it's like, I know something about you that's so personal, and you've allowed me to, like, in this space where I'm just supposed to be surface level, you've already gone so deep with me, and now you're making me think about myself in a way that I haven't thought about myself. Now you're making me realize that I'm not alone, and I think, going back to this idea of not shortchanging ourselves, that is the main nugget of wisdom I got from it, was, don't shortchange yourself. Whatever place you're at in your life right now, don't try to look at it soberly. Have an honest opinion of yourself. Don't try to decorate yourself in the eyes of others. Don't try to decorate yourself in your own eyes. And the beautiful thing about it that I began realizing is that in spaces, especially with persons who are like more advanced in their careers and whatnot, in spaces where I could recognize and I'm okay with being the person with least experience, I'm okay with being the person with the least, who's making the least amount of money, who has the smallest network, like in spaces where I am okay with being that, are the spaces where I could actually really learn a lot from it because I'm genuine. And that's what it is. It's just like being genuine with yourself allows you to really get more and realize where you actually need to work at. Because if you're not genuine, first you miss opportunities. And I'm not saying opportunities in the sense of financial gain, but you miss opportunities to just have yourself revealed to yourself. For example, being genuine, I was able to realize, okay, maybe I am that person that could bring that sense of reality, life, purpose in any place. I could be in a club anywhere and I could bring that right there and then. I don't have to be in an environment that's spiritual to be someone who is very spirit-filled and spirit-minded. And that comes with not shortchanging yourself. You know, it's almost that thing where it's like, there's no life that's better than yours. It's constant cultivating, it's constant refining, and it's constant awareness. Awareness of where you are, who you are, where you want to go, and, you know, just figuring it out as you go ahead. But be honest with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. Not only is it helping others, but it's gonna allow you to just really, really see how you're developing as a person.